Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P. Another daily dose positive post, a little bit of Saturday session of expression sessions. Hoping that you tuned in to enjoy this Saturday, this wonderful day, this blessed day, and this day to express what we feel in this time that's going on in the world, in this time of madness, this time of grief, this time of sadness, this time of life. We express ourselves and we talk about what we feel. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about redemption and the meaning of redemption and what does that mean. Hey, wife, my life is tuning in as y'all can see. I didn't plug the microphone. Oh, wife, my life is tuning in as y'all can see, and she is setting up her phone to make sure it's charging. I didn't know if I had the microphone plugged up or not, but it seems to be going. And wife, my life is plugging up her phone to get set up. Hi, wife. I ain't seen her all day, y'all. I've been out with my friend, with my buddy, Wolf, tuning in, talking about Grunt Speak, a new show that we got coming up. So I kind of been out the house most of the day. So I get back home to see wife, my life, and see what she got going on. No viewers. As she set up her Facebook page. How y'all doing on this wonderful Saturday? Hey, now there she go. Your lips is extra glossy in there, wife. I like it.
I think I have an extra plug to plug it up.
What you need?
It's
What you
okay.
plug
It
your
should be
phone?
okay.
It's a
It
plug.
should be
Oh no,
okay.
it's not a plug over here because it's HDMI. How's your
It's all right.
Saturday?
It's okay.
What you been doing? I ain't seen you all day.
Yeah, you've been gone.
Well, we know that, but
I
I'm saying what you been doing.
I rested, and I went out and picked up a couple things, and then I came back home and rested. So
You
it was
rested,
just
picked
that
up, and
kind of
rested
day.
some more.
No, I said I rested, then I went out, picked up a couple of things, and then I came back and continued resting.
Hey, Thelma. Hey, cousin. How's it going? Hey, Nina. How's it going? So you got a little bit of rest today, not a lot.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, today was a pretty interesting day for me. Me and Wolf went out and talked about some expression sessions and things to do next in the business, and then kind of went to his house and talked about it some more, and things with to do expression sessions and talking about them moving and things like that. And of course, we talked about what's going on in the world today with Mr. Floyd and everything else, and you see the protests and things like that. But today, what I wanted to talk about is redemption, and that's something that you mentioned to me the other day about redemption. About and I don't want to butcher the definition, so it's the action of saving or being saved from error or evil. So I want to talk about redemption today and everything that we have going on in the world today, everything that we have going on in society today. Redemption is the one thing that we need is the action or saving of being saved from sin or evil, the action of regaining or gaining possession of something in exchange for payment or clearing a debt. It's what we give back as a people, what we celebrate as a people, what we take part in as a people, what we forgive as a people, redemption, to forgive, to move forward. And I know it's hard to do right now sometimes in this instance of what's going on with Mr. Floyd and other wild things that's happening, but God is asking us to, forgive, let go and let God and continue to move on. You know what I'm saying? So today I want to talk about redemption and how important it is to us, although we may not always want to forgive somebody, but I know it's times in our life where we have needed forgiveness too for the things that we have done. Like I might need forgiveness right now. I've been going all day, y'all. I don't know, I'm just talking junk. But I've been going all day. I might need forgiveness. Do I need forgiveness? No, I don't need forgiveness. Yes, I need forgiveness. She ain't saying nothing. Y'all see that look? You just never know. So, we talking about redemption today, man. The action of saving or being saved from error or evil. A lot of evil has been happening in the United States of America. A lot of evil has been portrayed in the United States of America. And I know that it's a lot more good that's happening than bad. But we have to forgive those people for the errors of their ways. We have to give those people for the mistakes of their ways. And I know some of y'all might say, how can we forgive those people for all the madness that they're doing? Even Jesus himself said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. You may not believe in white Jesus. You may not believe in black Jesus. You may not believe in funny colored, multicolored Jesus. But most of us believe in something bigger than ourselves. So even that person that's bigger than yourself said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So he was looking to redeem them and bring them back in and forgive them for their sins, for what they did to us. And today I want to talk about redemption and forgiving other people for the madness that we're seeing going on with cop killings, redemption in the sense of for the madness that we see going on in our individual lives, not forgiving ourselves, not being allowed to God to use us to move forward, just redemption in life, period. And what does redemption mean to you? That make sense? We got some beef.
No, you asked if it made sense.
I'm just asking if we
I
got some
said
beef
yes,
now. You
it
already
made
said
sense.
yeah. I just wanted to know if we got some beef now. I ain't seen y'all all day. Have I been redeemed?
Nina says she's chilling and doing good. How are you?
How are you? She asking you. She on your phone. I'm doing good. Another day in paradise.
Right.
So are you feeling the same way as another day in paradise for you?
Yeah. I'm a little tired, but other than that, I'm doing good.
Okay, so what do you think about when you think about redemption? So it says redemption is to be, and this time in this society that we going on right now with the everything with the George Floyd and what's that, Breonna Taylor, and not even just that, but forgiveness for what people attempt to portray our lives to be in this society and in the American society as individuals, as African American individuals, as human individuals. When you think about redemption, you know, the action of being saved from sin, error, or evil. We all committed some sin. We all committed an error. We all committed something that somebody might think of as evil. But when God forgives us, when God gives us an opportunity, when He redeem us, do we really redeem ourselves? And I know again, it's a lot of madness going on, and that's all American society wants to see, to show us, wants to make us to believe. But what are we believing for ourselves? How have we redeemed our thought process in our mind? So what do you think about when you think about redemption?
I want to first off say that with all the stuff going on in the news and on social media, you know, the constant posting of these cop killings and the COVID and all this stuff, it's okay to be angry. It's a scripture that we received today, our daily scripture. It was saying, be angry, but sin not. So it was saying that, you know, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be disappointed in the justice system. It's okay to feel what you feel, but to sin not, to not seek vengeance. To not seek your own vengeance on what's happening. I support the protest that's going on all around the world. And it's just to stand up to say, you know, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? So redemption is being paid back for, you know, an injustice. Like you can be redeemed. I think of the scripture, you know, your latter days shall be greater than your former days. And it's to say you go through these hardships, but that doesn't mean that the days ahead have to continue to be rough. That there is some redemption. There is some good days coming for the days you've lost that were terrible, you know. So
Yeah, absolutely.
so be angry about what's going on, but sin not, you know. Like there are other ways to channel your anger than, you know,
Violence.
than violence. Yes.
And I know a lot of people right now may be mad or may be disappointed at what's going on in America, but if you really think back to beginning of times, and I know y'all might not want to hear this, and this ain't for everybody, but if you think back to the beginning of times, we've been at war, we've been at somebody losing their life, and we've been in a society that portrayed someone else as less fortunate. As of right now, it may be the African Americans, and they've been that way for years. It's been the blacks that's portrayed as less fortunate, so they don't take as much respect for our lives as we should for our lives. But it's like you have to come into a point to where you have to forgive your oppressor. You have to learn how to move on and understand that God is calling you to do something special. And to me, it's as simple as this. If you're not willing to fight for your life and a life to say you want, then change to happen, then you almost support what your oppressor does. Because unfortunately for us, in the society that we live in now, without, I hate to say this, but it feel like my truth, without violence, without a strong protest, without being in their face, without making a ruckus, without rattling the cage, nothing changes. And in order to redeem, to forgive somebody for the error of their ways, to move forward and say, hey, I forgive you for what happened. I think in order to redeem somebody and move on and have redemption, you have to be willing to face what happened.
Right.
You have to be willing to face what happened. It's not that all black people are super angry and we just want to tear down white America. All black people are super angry and we just want to riot and burn up stuff in our neighborhoods. All black people are super angry and think that all of white America is bad. No, we just want to get back to the root of the problem and discuss that, our ancestors might have been slaves. Our ancestors might have been slave owners. But how do we redeem this process? How do we forgive you of the things of your past like God forgiven us? And how do we move forward? I'm angry. I'm not happy right now with all this killing that's going on in African American men. It makes me uncomfortable. When I go out and walk in the morning, I have a 15-year-old son. He don't go out that often like that, but I think about that. It doesn't make me feel comfortable. It doesn't make me feel good. And it's hard to have redemption and forgive people when it seems like as a whole the people are doing the same thing. And I know all white people are not bad. All Hispanics not bad. All blacks are not bad. But if you listen to everything that the media is feeding us, then it makes everyone bad, and it's hard to redeem or forgive or let go. You know what I'm saying? To that individual of the pain and the torment we feel like we suffered. But God is saying, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. And if we don't let go and let God and allow God to redeem us, allow God to bring us back to a better place, then I think we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be in trouble. What's going on, Amanda? What's going on, Shem? What's going on, Thompson? What's going on, cousin Thelma? How y'all doing today? We talking about redemption, learning how to forgive, let go, let God, and move on. As hard as it may seem, as uncomfortable as it may seem, especially as a black man, an African American man, an African American couple in America, you can say what you want to say. I'm far from racist. I'm far from prejudiced. But I would be lying to say that I don't feel uncomfortable and I'm not aware of the situation that's going on in the United States of America. It's sometimes easy to forgive some people for the error of their ways. But when it's happening multiple times from multiple different states, it's not so easy to just let go and to forgive and to let go and let God. You know, I know it's a song that says, I've been redeemed. Well, I don't know if I've been all the way redeemed yet, because this one strikes a little different. This one feels a little different. And some people may not understand it. If you're not African American, you might think George Floyd or Tamir Rice or Trayvon Martin was just bad people. I don't know what they were personally, but I do know that they were human beings. They were individuals that deserve to live life. Everybody has an opportunity to live life and design life that God has given them. And you want me to forgive people, and you want me to accept people who's not willing to accept their own mistakes. How do we move forward? How do we redeem? How do we love? How do we build with the people who may not be willing to accept or even just hear us out? You don't have to accept it, but this is our feelings. Be sympathetic enough to understand that this is what we feel. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It is rough. Coming from the standpoint of your wife having a African American husband and raising an African American son. It's like these are concerns now. I have a son that I'm raising, and just he's already labeled before he even leave the comfort of my home as a threat to people. He's not even given a chance to, make his own name in the world. And I just think that it is our prayers, it is our belief in God that's going to carry us through, to not be so fearful and live in this thing called life. Because it is hard when you have protests going on, and it feels like the people, the powers of be that need to hear our cry for help or our stand for justice is just turning the other way, so it doesn't feel good. But at the same time, we have to take hold of our faith in this hour, because we need God more than ever. We've always needed him, but it's just like, okay, God, we need direction in this season, because now it's to a point where these things seems like they're happening back to back and more and more. And what do you do? What do you do when it feels like, you have all these oppositions against you? You have all these things against you, and now, you're faced with the realization that people see you as a threat, even though you have no intentions on being that. And like you said, it's not everybody. It's not, every Caucasian person, but at the same time, it's not every black person either. But we get that label nonetheless. It's hard. We're in a predominantly Caucasian area, and I'll say, I thought that, moving my family somewhere where I felt like my kids will have equal opportunity is now a threat. I've had, our daughters faced with racism because they have dark skin. People have said things to them, and they've been called some things, and it's hurtful as a parent. You want to give your kids the best, but at the same time, it's like a catch 22. Some people don't always see your growth as growth. They're like, why are you invading our space? And we're peaceful here. We're not doing anything wrong. But at the same time, just because of the color of our skin, we're already labeled as trouble, or that we can't coexist with them, and we haven't even done anything wrong. We're just here existing. We're peaceful people. We're givers. But your appearance is what people see first. So your first impression is automatically, a strike against you, because you are an African American. And it's unfair. And I would say that I haven't let it bother me, but it has bothered me. If that makes any sense.
No, it
I
makes
haven't
plenty of
allowed
sense.
it to make me so angry that now I'm just venomous and I'm spitting venom and I'm just not nice to people. But at the same time, it's hurtful.
What was the scripture? What was our daily scripture that we talked about today? Like, be angry, but
Be
sin
angry, but
not.
sin not.
Yeah, and I've been very angry. Like, I was telling Wolf, when we were driving somewhere, either back to his house or he was bringing me home or stopping at the store, and I was telling my buddy Wolf, it was like, this is the first time with George Floyd to where I really tuned in and I felt touched as an African American man. And no offense to Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, and all these other people. When I looked the other day, it was like 14 to 15 people between men and women. And no offense to them, but something about this case, I didn't even watch the video because I didn't want to stomach it.
Yeah, I
But
can't.
seeing the picture, something about this picture just hit different. And I wanted to be angry. And I wanted to go out there in my military training and say, shoot them down, waste them. Like, this just ain't right. But then, how much better am of them if I don't forgive them, if I don't trust God? See, a lot of times we say we Christians, and I ain't talking about the blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus. I ain't talking about the white hair, skin of bronze Jesus, eye of fire. I don't know what Jesus looked like. White, black, Mexican, woman, man. I don't know. I understand the description in the Bible, but I don't know. So I don't have time to get wrapped up and decide who I'm going to judge based on what they look like. Redemption is forgiveness. And it doesn't say a color of skin. It doesn't say ethnicity. It doesn't say any of that. And if I think about love and how do I love and how do I be able to move forward, sin not. Be angry, but sin not. I am not happy with the injustice that's happening to black men. I'm not happy with feeling uncomfortable going out for a walk in the morning hour at nighttime because I live in a predominantly white neighborhood. But what I am happy with is that whether you want to believe in God, whether you want to believe in a higher power or not, I know that every day that I wake up and I have life, it's an opportunity for me to change my life. I may not be the one that get attacked today by a police officer. My wife may not be the one to get attacked today. But if I continue to absorb that in my mind and think that this is what it's going to be, I think that's what it's going to be. And I think when God say be angry, but sin not. Yeah, protesting is good and it does a little bit of change. But it's like, where's that fine line between sin not? Because you get tired. I do. You get fed up. I don't feel like I should have to take this. I shouldn't have to deal with this because I'm a human like you human. But God, you're going to have to show me, where do I draw the line?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Because we don't always know.
I don't never know.
We don't always know what our part in the fight is or how to fight it. And we were watching something on, I think it was Facebook, and the lady was saying that we're not wrestling with, flesh and blood, that this is a spiritual battle. And it got me to thinking, like, we really do need to pray. We really do need to intercede. But it's like, okay, God, tell me what to intercede for. What is the root cause of racism? Is it fear? Is it power? Is it control? Like, what is the root cause of racism? So that you can get in there and pray for the root of this thing, because it makes no sense really to be racist against a whole race of people when we need each other. It doesn't matter, your ethnicity, because we all need each other. We all have something we can bring to the table and help each other grow. So my prayer has been, reveal to me the root cause of this thing so that we can pray and intercede so that redemption can take place, because it's just crazy. I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised to be a racist. So a lot of times I'm baffled. I'm like, this is humanity. Like, these people are human beings and we all fall short. And we've all made mistakes, and I know some people, have gone above and beyond in their mistake making, but man, they're still human, And unless they're just ruly, which I'm not seeing in any of these videos and pictures of people just being unruly, I'm just baffled. I just don't get it.
I mean, redemption goes so deep about forgiveness, and I don't want to butcher this, but it says the action of saving or being saved from sin or error or evil, the action of regarding or gaining possession of something in exchange for payment. I don't want to talk about that one. I want to talk about the action of saving or being saved from sin, error, or evil. Like when Jesus Christ died, he saved us from all those things. And I know I'll get into this, but I don't want to miss out on the people's comments and subjects. Dear God, I thank you for praising us, to bless us, to have a wonderful show. Let the words of our mouth, the meditation of our heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. In Jesus' name pray, amen.
Amen.
Cool, now we can get into this thing. But I don't want to miss these comments before I forget. So first it says, I myself have had to ask for forgiveness the other day from God because of the thoughts I was having about everything that is going on, and has gone on, and unfortunately will continue to happen. I agree with that part. When I don't know how to pray for a certain situation, just say Jesus and amen. And I think that's a powerful thing. All the time I want to get forgiveness. When I was walking this morning, and I was thinking about it, and I was afraid to walk this morning. I wasn't mad at every white American in the world, but I was mad at America, and I'm a person that served, because it made me feel uncomfortable. Why does it have to come to a point to where, as an African American man that's 43 years old, who's been living in this country all my life, who has fought for this country all I know, why do it have to get to a point to where I feel uncomfortable to do something as normal as walking down the street? Why does it have to be uncomfortable for my wife to feel like my husband or my son is walking down the street? This is going to be the last time I see him again. Like, we have to learn how to forgive our oppressors. We have to learn how to figure out what the problem is with our oppressors. And this is how I look at it. Either you part of the problem or you part of the solution. I'm not advocating killing cops, and I'm not advocating killing government officials. What I am saying is this, though. Being in the military and serving the years that I served, I understand without action, sometimes violence of action, nothing changes. Sometimes financial action, taking your money back, not waiting till July 7th, taking your money back right now, today. Nothing changes, nothing happens. But you also have to be strategic and think about, okay, I live in this world. I have to follow by the rules and the law of the land. I have to figure out how to live the best version of my life and let go and let God for those people that wrong me in my life. Because people gonna wrong us every single day in our life. They're gonna wrong us every day in our life. And I don't think God gets mad at us for expressing our emotions, expressing the anger, expressing the hurt, expressing the disposition. I think he gets mad at us when we take the power in our hand and figure we gonna do something about it to make that person pay.
Yeah.
Be angry, but sin not. Be angry about Mr. Floyd. Be angry about Tamir Rice. Be angry about Trayvon Martin. Be angry about New York City Eric Garner. Be angry about Sandra Bland. Be angry about all those things, but sin not. Figure out a way to beat them at their own game, to beat them, to kill them with kindness. This ain't about a white God, a black God, or none of those other color gods. This is about seeking a higher power that lets you just know that humanity, white, black, green, purple, humanity, human beings is greater than the color of our skin we see.
Absolutely.
And you have to forgive the human being because it's something that happens in all of our lives that we need and we pray and we ask for forgiveness for. This situation sucks. I don't want to be talking about this. I don't want to have this conversation with my son. It sucks. And just as much as it sucks to talk about it, it sucks to say that I have to forgive these people.
Right.
It don't feel good. You can take it how you want to take it. You can unfriend me, not be my friend. It doesn't feel good as a black man, as an African American man. It don't feel good. I know all whites not racist. I know all Hispanics not racist. But I know all blacks are not racist either. But it does not feel good. But if you Christ-like, if you a Christian, you not seeing color of skin. If it's not love, then it's not of that higher power we believe in.
Right.
So in order for me to truly move forward in my life, in order for God to call me into the life that I'm supposed to live, I have to forgive the other people. I have to.
And here's the thing, forgiveness is not really for them, it's for you. It's to keep your heart pure from the anger, from going forward in the anger that you feel.
That's true. That is absolutely correct. You can keep going if you want to, because I don't.
So as long as you're able to take yourself to a place of forgiveness, then you don't sin not.
No, you don't.
You don't sin because you're not thinking about.
And if you do sin, it's not consciously. You're not just like, oh, I'm about to go do this because they did me wrong like this, tit for tat, so I got to get you back. I don't think you do that. You do it unconsciously.
Yeah.
Most people, I think, are good people. You have to be a low-down, cold-hearted person to sit back home and plot, plan, and strategize how to do somebody wrong.
Yeah.
That's just what I believe. Hi, y'all. Thought I'd jump on and listen while I was working. Come on now. I hear you. Redemption. Redemption. It's a powerful thing. When you think about redemption, we get upset. And as a black man, as my wife, a black woman, we get upset to see the things that we see happening in life. But how dare you call yourself a Christian? How dare you call yourself Christ-like? How dare you call yourself a Muslim, a Buddhist, Jehovah? How dare you call yourself any of those religions or identify with that if you don't identify with love? If you believe that you too big to forgive someone else when God is forgiving you, how dare you identify yourself with the greater power, the bigger than you? I just don't understand how we do that. I'm not afraid to admit it. What's going on in the world is not equal. It's not fair. It's not comfortable. It scares me. It angers me. It makes me want to react. But how dare I say that I'm a believer in God, a lover of God, and his plan and purpose and will for my life is if I want to wipe somebody out every time they do something. If we want to wipe somebody out every time they do something, we gonna be what they say, a blind and toothless nation. If you always go for an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, you're gonna be a blind and toothless nation. Jesus scolded Peter for chopping off the ear, and he knew he was about to go die.
Right.
We think this is about the color of our skin. We think this is about white versus black. This is not about white versus black. In my mind, this is about the have versus the have-nots. If you watching this video and you sitting down taking an hour of your day to watch this video, you might be part of the have-nots. Don't take it personal. They just not counting us in the haves. And when you're not being counted in the top, the upper echelon, they don't see you as valuable. They don't see you as popular. They don't see you as considerate. But if you see yourself the way God sees you, as you are valuable, you are loved, you are a masterpiece. If you see yourself the way God sees you, if you don't conform to what the world says about you, and you press forward on God, and you press forward on what His greatness is, if you press forward on forgiving your fellow brother and your sister and moving forward in life, that's when life really changes in our life. When you have true redemption and you forgive your oppressor, when you forgive your mother, when you forgive your ex-husband, your ex-wife, your brother, your sister, when real redemption happens, when you forgive those people in the error of their ways as if nothing ever happens, that's when I feel like God truly changes our life.
Yes, that's good. Case in point, the other young man or the other man that we recently learned about who was in jail falsely accused for 37 years and now has been released and is now on the other side of his prison sentence and went on to pursue some dreams of his and it's just really being redeemed from having his life taken unjustifiably, and now he's on the other side and just pursuing his dreams and good things are happening to him, and it had to take a lot of forgiveness. He had to do a lot of forgiving to be in jail for 37 years knowing that the crime they have me in here for, I never committed. And I believe he believed that he knew they knew he didn't do it.
He knew they didn't do it.
So it's
because
like,
no fingerprints matched him.
So it's like the forgiveness that had to come from that is just unsurmountable. To be to be unjustly punished for 37 years for a crime you did not commit and come out happy and pursuing your dreams and just having redemption, just having your life redeemed. Like they took 37, but it just seems like in this season of his life he's being redeemed. He's happy, he's out, he's pursuing his dreams, and his story is touching a lot of people. He's a great example of don't let the injustice of everything that they try to do to you hold your mind in captivity. They was able to keep his body, but he said they weren't able to keep his mind. And that was just, man, an awesome testimony. How do you keep your mind for 37 years and you like, I didn't do it, I'm here, and they know I didn't do it. But he was able to depend on God, keep his faith, and come out smiling and come out running. He hit the ground running, far as we know. Got on, what was it, America's Got Talent, sung the roof off the place, and it's just been soaring ever since. So, awesome example of being angry, but sinning not. And God is definitely redeeming him in this hour. He's a prime example of not allowing,
not allowing your circumstances to break you and dictate who you are, what you're going to be. Like Sofia Vergara said on American Talent, they may have gave you 37 years, but they didn't break you. And that's what God is saying. Are you willing to forgive your mother for walking out and not being the mother that you needed her to be? Are you willing to forgive your father, Ethan, for being there but not really being there, being the father you need to be? Are you willing to look at the things that you learn, how to cook, how to get up and go to work? What are you willing to hold on to when it comes to your job, your boss, your work? Are you willing to see what you can learn and forgive people of their error and their ways? Because we all have them. Unfortunately, as sad as this case is with Mr. Floyd, as sad as the case is with Amir Aubrey, as sad as the case was with Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, and all these other people, are you willing to turn the other cheek and forgive those people who have done the injustice towards you? Are you willing to let go and let God? And if you're not willing to do that, are you willing to fight and take a life? Are you willing to have that on your conscience? Are you willing to go an eye for an eye, justice for justice? Because that's what it's all about. We all need redemption. We ask God to forgive us. I ask God to forgive me the way I treated my wife. You may have asked God to forgive you the way you treated your job. You lied on your time card, lied on your time sheet, lied on your taxes. You may have lied on something and you want forgiveness. But are you willing to forgive and be able to redeem the same person the way God is redeeming you? Forgiving your errors, your past, your sins. Because we have no idea why people make the decisions that they make, why they go through what they go through. Everybody's not you. Everybody's not us. Everybody's not kind, warm, loving. Everybody's not violent and protesting and tearing up stuff just to say this is the way we represent. Everybody not is about that. But what are you about? Are you willing to forgive on an individual basis based on the relationship you have with a person, based on the relationship how you interact with a person? Or are you willing to stereotype that person and hold on to what you think that person is and not forgive that person based on what the media shows you? I don't think that's what God is calling us to do when we think about, when we talk about redemption and starting over in a new beginning.
Indeed. And I just wanted to put out there that forgiveness is not excusing a person's behavior. Again, forgiveness is really for you so that you can live out that scripture. You can be angry, but sin not. So to do that, you really do have to be a forgiver. You really do have to forgive people. And it's not to say that you have to still be in company with that person or people. And all the time, the solution may not be peaceful.
Not at all.
We've had your We've had your Martin Luther Kings and those people who were called to, take action and to go and do that. But you have to ask God, what is your part? What part do I play in this? And how can I be a help in moving this thing forward instead of a hindrance? Like you said, we either part of the problem or we're part of the solution. So you don't want to haphazardly just be like, oh, I'm just going to go tear some stuff up because I'm angry. But it's not really moving us in a place of justice. It's just really giving them more ammo to say, see, we told y'all this is how they act. And then it's like, really, you pushed us to it. And then, you make it look like we animals. But that's far from the truth. But again, you don't want to give them more fuel to the fire. You want to go at it in a more strategic way. So again, forgiveness is for you, and it doesn't mean that you excuse their behavior, that you like what they doing, or that you have to continue being in relationship with that person. And I know we're not in direct relationship with the powers that be. But when it comes time for elections and you can vote for your mayor and city council and these type of people, it's really something to consider. That's something we can control. Otherwise, tearing up is not really, it's releasing frustration.
Tearing up, when you tear up in the neighborhood we live in.
Yes.
So what is that solving when you tear up in the neighborhood that you live in? You're not hurting Target. You're not hurting Walmart. You're not hurting AutoZone because those people have big insurance policies. Now, if you go tear up E's and Keys, inspirational T-shirt company, you might hurt us because we're a small mom and pop shop. But when you tearing up the major companies who have the major insurance, you're not really creating or affecting change. You're not creating a difference. You just doing what you want to do just to be on some hood shit, just to be on some, excuse my language, on some nigga shit. You're just looking to be on some ignorant stuff to advance your cause to get what you want. Because looting and rioting doesn't help the cause. It doesn't help the cause at all. We unafraid to go spend our money. Not unafraid. We're afraid to go spend we're afraid to hold our money and not spend our money. We're afraid to sit at home and sit still and learn how to develop my mind and things for myself that I don't need them for, that I don't have to complain about. We are afraid of that. And God says it's cool, be mad, but don't sin. Don't go out there and take vengeance upon you. Don't go out there and be the same person that they are. How are you any better if you out there belittling, disrespecting, degrading, and treating those people unjust or inhumane? Maybe that's what they was raised. Maybe they weren't taught any better. Maybe their whole entire family was this way. It takes time to change your life. I'm 43 years old. It wasn't until I was almost 40 to where I realized and understood that it takes me changing my life. It takes me redeeming myself and ask God to forgive me. It takes me to accept my errors, to accept my shortcomings, accept my downfalls, and know that I can build from them. And a lot of times we don't understand that it takes that individual person. If I was taught to be racist, if I was born in Mississippi, Alabama, Howell, Michigan, Brighton, Michigan, whatever you want to call that place, we all have that little neighborhood environment where we don't feel comfortable as African American. You may not feel comfortable as a white man or Hispanic man going into a black neighborhood. We all have that area where we feel uncomfortable, but it takes you to accept the people in that area for who they are, what God is calling you to. You have to forgive them for the errors and the mistakes that they committed that sometimes don't have nothing to do with them.
Right.
They're just a victim of circumstances like you are because of the color of their skin, because of their ethnic background. God is asking you to forgive. Let that go. He forgave us. He forgave you, but we won't forgive our fellow brother. We won't forgive ourselves. That's why it's hard to forgive our fellow brother. If I see you winning, I'm mad because I ain't winning. Or if I see you not winning at the level that I think you should be winning, then I'm mad because you ain't winning at my level. No, that ain't what God telling us to do. That ain't what he asks us to do. You don't get to be judge, jury, and executioner.
Right.
You don't get to do that. Not for nobody else's life. And I think when God redeems us and he brings us back into love and he brings us back into acceptance and he brings us back into understanding for not just our man that's the color of our skin, but for every man, for every woman. You have to learn how to deal with people on an individual basis. All blacks are not bad, all whites are not bad, all Jews are not bad. But if you don't redeem in your mind or transform your mind to accept this person and forgive that person for what they did, specifically to you, then you're going to have some problems.
Indeed.
You're going to have some problems because then we're no different than either part of the problem or part of the solution. Then we're no different than the officer Chavid or whatever his name is. We're no different than the person that choked out George Floyd. We're no different than the men that choked out Eric Garner. We're no different than the officer that shot Tamir Rice. We're no different for the Mike Brown and Ferguson. We're no different than that if we don't learn how to live, let go, and let God. Because you said this earlier. Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is for you to be able to birth the gift and the life that God created in you so you don't wind up angry, mad, sad, and depressed holding on to something that you can't control.
Absolutely.
I gotta check this. My mom says I may be angry, sad, mad, etc., but I don't stay there.
Yes.
You got something for that? While I scroll down. What's going on, Frank? What's going on, Thelma? Tearing up?
Tearing up your own community. Exactly. Nobody can do it for you. It takes me. I said, well, I don't have any.
I'm just double checking. Exactly. Nobody can do it for you.
It takes me.
Absolutely, 100%. It takes us. If you listen, if you're disappointed with something that's going on in your relationship, if you're disappointed in something that's going on in your parenting and you're rearing a child, the upbringing, if you don't take responsibility for that, if you don't take ownership for that of the family that you created, that God blessed you with, It is your fault. If you don't forgive your kids for the mistakes that they made, the same mistakes that you made, if you don't understand that we all fall short of God's glory. We're all one mistake, one accident away for not being in the position that we in. If you don't allow your kids to learn how to make mistakes and forgive them for their errors or the ways of their life, then your life don't grow. Your life don't change. You become a person that's attempting to control someone else's life based on the fears and the understanding that you have of life. But you have to understand that the way they see life, the way they visualize life is different. The way God talked to them is different. So you have to not only redeem them, forgive them for their errors, but I think it's more so us forgiving ourselves and understanding that I don't have the power to put my pressures or my expectancies upon someone else. And it's hard for me to give you for your mistakes if I feel like I would have did it a different way. You should have did it a different way. I would have did this. Because you only looking at it from what you think is sweet.
Right.
But that might not be sweet for me. That might not be sweet for the next person. So that doesn't work if you don't put yourself in that person's position to understand who they are, what rattles their cage, what gives them peace, what makes them calm. If you don't understand how to work with them, if you don't understand, the schematics of things, of how to help them process their life, then you're going to lose in that area of your life.
All right.
That's just what I feel.
And you a lot of times lose the relationship with that person because now they feel like you pushy and you just pushing your opinion on to them, and they're not allowed to, be their own person, make their own decisions. So
Once I learned to truly forgive my daughter's father for not being in her life, I felt so free. It wasn't for him, but for me. Holding on to that anger and bitterness wasn't hurting him, but hurting me.
yes.
Can you speak on that? Because I was the person that left and I wasn't there. And I remember you saying that you had to look at Zachary for Zachary. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't about forgiving for me, but also just letting go what I had done and what I did, and looking at him for him. So when she say forgiving her daughter's father, so she can look at her daughter to me. For her,
She said forgiving him for not being in her
Right.
life so she can feel free. And I had to do the same for you because not only do we have daughters, but we have a son. And the forgiveness is hard at times. And I say that because I don't know about her daughter, but I know our kids had a lot of you in them. And so it was like, although you wasn't there, you was there in the sense of their personalities or something they might say that might trigger something. So learning to separate that these are individuals who just, and spending time with you picked up some of your habits, but they're their own individual people. And having to forgive you to say that if this is the choice that you have made, then that's okay. It's your choice. But as the mother of these children, I'm choosing to be available. And that's not only physically, but mentally. I want to be here mentally for them. I don't want to just be here physically and I'm angry all the time because, things didn't work out the way they should have between us. So the forgiveness for the person that left is important because you don't want to just be there for your child physically. You want to also be there mentally. They need you mentally and they need you whole. So it's not easy. You upset. Now you have to do a job that you thought two people was going to do. You now have to do it by yourself. And being a one-woman show is not easy. You working, you cooking, you cleaning, you doing everything by yourself.
Everything. I was doing
But
all that. I was wearing the wig.
it doesn't help you to go forward and raising your kids when you holding on to, the anger of this person left. And quite frankly, that's his loss. He lost out on seeing her grow. She's a beautiful young lady. I've been watching your post on Facebook, and that's his loss. That's his loss. And hopefully, there will be some type of redemption in their relationship because she needs him. But until he's ready to be that, then I believe that God will give her a man in her life that can guide her in the ways of, the male side of things, I believe that God will do that for you.
Mm.
Zachary and our kids were in all type of things, sports and dance and band, and there were positive male role models all around. So when he wasn't
Mm.
there, God made a way. He filled the gap for me. There were positive men who spoke into the lives of my sons and my daughters, and filled that gap so that they weren't left without the male side. No, it didn't replace their father, but he didn't leave them. So
Oh, yeah, temporary solution to
I
long-term
truly
problems better
believe
than
in me
nothing.
forgiving. It allowed me to be a better mother in the season of my singleness and just raising them by myself, because again, it wasn't easy, because I had
No.
never planned on doing it by myself. So I understand, Thelma, the forgiveness of that person who left is important. It's hard, but it's important.
Let's see.
Scroll down because we
Mom,
read
wait,
that
let me
already.
finish. My mom says I may be angry, sad, mad, etc., but I don't stay there. Okay, we got that.
Mm-hmm.
Tearing up, tearing up
Tearing up
your
your
own
own community. Scroll
community.
down, love.
Wait, babe, I'm coming. Calm down. It's coming. It's coming in hot. I was just about to say that. Exactly. Nobody can do it for you. Take me. Very true. Once I learned to truly forgive my daughter's father for not being in her life, I felt so free. It wasn't for him but for me. Holding on to that anger and bitterness wasn't hurting him but hurting me. One thing I never did, even though I was angry, was speak negatively about him to her.
And I was the same. I never did that either. I wanted them to form their own opinion. I didn't want my opinions of what I felt about the situation to be their opinion. So I never did that either. I know a lot of people do that, bash the spouse that's gone. But here's the thing, the kids still love that other person. And I just don't feel like it's my right to take that from them. They will form their own opinion as they grow older. They're going to do that anyway. And our kids aren't crazy. They aren't stupid. They see what's going on, and they can see um the lack thereof of the other person, or what you give when you're there. They're very intelligent. I know my kids were very intelligent. They knew a
I
lot
mean,
about a lot, and I didn't even say a lot, but
cold
they were
blooded.
watching. They knew. So for me to bash him to them, to me was doing them an injustice. That's their father. I know they still love him, and they're going to form their own opinion with or without me. So I prefer them to have their own interpretation of their father based on facts. You can see. So I don't have to drag his name through the mud just to make myself feel good. I just that's a part of forgiveness, when you just like, I don't need to do that. It's not necessary. So I commend you to be, strong enough to forgive, and then, not bash that person, because, we do have to realize now our kids feel torn. Now they don't, because they still do love that person. So now they're torn. I'm here with mom, but I love my dad. And so now I
What's
feel like
going
I
on,
have to
Brown
choose
Reds?
sides when it's really not necessary.
James, what's going on?
So it says,
That's it.
thank you. She has a father. Yes, who's truly stepped up. He's been in her life since she was 7, and that's what she calls dad. Absolutely. Because dad is the person who's been there for me, who rocks with me, who comes to all my events, who gives me the real. That's who dad is. It doesn't matter who father her. If she has somebody who God has blessed her with, then that's dad. So
I ain't mad about that. One thing I never wanted, and I know I look for forgiveness for with all the errors of my ways and the things that I did. And I got forgiveness several hundred times, y'all. I'm just being honest with you. But it ain't counting on her. It's about what God did for me, and to be able to forget that forgiveness for my father, like you said. One thing I never wanted was another man to have to be a father to my children and never have to worry about whether my children forgive me for what I did or how I did. You know what I'm saying? In order to get that and to be in that relationship, I had to, me personally, had to look for redemption. I had to admit my errors and my wrongdoings and my shortcomings. And I think that takes a powerful person. That takes a person that wants to change. That takes a person that wants to do better. Because it's grateful and it's honorable for men and women that step up and take on responsibility of a child that's not theirs.
Yes.
But what about that person who you are the father, you are the mother, and you know you haven't been doing right, and God keeps giving you life? You have to ask God to redeem you. You have to ask God to free you. One thing I know about my mother before she passed away, my mother always said, I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to live my life for me, dadgummit. I can't live my life for everybody. I can't make everybody happy. I can't change the decisions that I made in my past. You don't know everything that I've been through and everything that I might go through. But I'm being the best version of me that I can be for you. You might like that. You might not understand that. But if you cannot forgive, if you choose not to forgive and let bygones be bygones, let people move on, how can you expect God to forgive you? It says in the Bible, do not go to sleep with anger on your heart. It don't say just for your wife. It don't say just for your kids. It says with anger on your heart. So again, be angry, but sin not. Don't be like, oh man, they just cheated on me. I'm gonna go cheat on them so I can get back. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not what God's saying. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. When a person comes to you and they attempt to admit their wrongs and they attempt to admit how they did, you ain't got to forget, but it should be good for you to forgive them. And if you let them back in and they do it again, cool, bag away from them. You ain't got to forget, but you should forgive them because God forgives us for all our sins. We've been redeemed. Every morning that we wake up, our error, our past, our mistakes have been wiped away. We've been redeemed. But we unfortunately won't redeem other people because we put them in this category of, oh no, your sin is so much worse than mine. I cannot let that go. But God let that go. He's not a measurer of man and what they do. I'm a measurer of the heart. We all got the same 24 hours. But if you don't learn how to let go and let God, then you might just be in trouble in your life and feel like you struggling with God in your life. And how come he ain't hearing me in my life? Because you got something that you're afraid to let go. You don't want to redeem somebody if they past mistakes, they past shortcomings, because you only see what a person have done, not what they doing. And you definitely don't be looking at you. So being able to redeem someone, actually, I think starts at looking at you. A lot of times I can't forgive you because I haven't forgiven myself for being with you to allow you to treat me the way I've been treated. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I ain't talking about me and her person. She treated me good. You should have seen me last night.
Oh my God.
Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, nah. That's what I was doing. I don't know if that was right, but I sure was. Hey. Okay, go ahead. Your turn.
You was talking.
I was done. I was talking about last night. I was somewhere else. I've been redeemed.
You back?
Not really, but yeah. Me and say so for the people.
Thank you.
I ain't never been back because I'm always gone. Y'all waiting on me to be normal like the rest of y'all. You're going to be waiting the rest of your life because I ain't never back. Because I'm always gone. That gummit. Absolutely. That was her word. That gummit. So, again, I've been redeemed. My wife has forgiven me. God has forgiven me. Learn to forgive yourself. To be redeemed is forgiving of error, mistakes, shortcomings, downfalls. We all have them. We ask God to redeem us. We ask God to forgive us. We give our life back. We ask the people that we did wrong. I asked my wife to forgive me. But it wasn't until the second time that we got around that I was able to talk to my wife and forgive myself. You don't understand. This was my God. This was the better version of me. If she said it's okay, everything is okay. That's too much pressure to put on her, and that's too much pressure to put on me. So I had to forgive myself for the things that I did and trust that God put this back together. It ain't nothing that I did so sweet. It ain't nothing that she did so sweet. I had to forgive and be obedient. You have to forgive and be obedient. Don't let nobody kill you. Don't let no cops choke you out. Don't let nobody kill you. I'm saying that. Yes, I'm saying that. Ain't nobody finna just choke me out and kill me. Don't let nobody take your life like that if God hasn't told you it's time for your life to be over. But forgive those ignorant people who have taken lives. Forgive those ignorant people who don't understand the responsibility that we have to build up lives. Forgive those ignorant people who only see color in life: white, black, brown, Hispanic. Forgive those people. Be redeemed by the Lord. Be redeemed by God, not the white black, not the white God, the black God, the God for the white church, the God for the black church, the God for that speaks to your church, the church that's inside of you, the internal you, the greater you, the believe in you, the strengthening you. You know that thing, that purpose, that passion, that spirit you prayed to when you was through, when you was too drunk, when you was in a bad relationship, when you didn't like your job. That God, I need you to reach out to that God, and I need you to ask that God to forgive you for the things that you did and mistakes that you made, and be able to give back and grow and go forward with somebody else. Instagram is done again. I guess that means we've been on here an hour. This time went by before I know it.
Yes.
Like, is gone. I ain't even giving it. Oh, you want me to give it a title?
Redemption. You gonna do it later?
Thank you, Holy. Thank you, Tim Kedia, because I didn't know what I was gonna call it. I was gonna say go. I was just gonna say go because I wanted to get it done and over with. Like, oh, excuse me. What up, though? That was a great word. Yay, thank you
Thank
very much.
you.
I really have enjoyed it.
Learned so much from you all since watching it.
Hey, now make sure you share this video. Make sure you comment down below. Make sure you give a thumbs up. Make sure you give a thumbs down. Make sure you give a thumb this way. Make sure you give a thumb that way. Stick with this way because that way is the way to go forward. Make sure you do what you want to do in the life that you give. I'm glad that God is able to use us and he's willing to use us, these broken vessels. You know I'm broken, right? Like, I've been crazy. I used to be broken, but I'm good right now. I'm good. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Anyway, I'm thankful that God is using us because we all fall short. We all make mistakes. We all need forgiveness. We all need to be redeemed. Stop thinking that you bigger than what you really are because the devil in your mind is trying to play you up for something more than what you are. Yeah, you are loved. You are valuable. You are God's masterpiece. But if you're a true masterpiece, like the Mona Lisa that we see or things in art institutes, those masterpieces give life. Those masterpieces bring life. People literally go to those masterpieces just to stare and admire the work that the artist has done. So when people see you, they should just admire the work that God has done in you. They should just admire the things that God has forgiven you past. They should just admire the things that you allow people to let go and move on from because you were angry, but people didn't see you sin. Case in point, my wife, she had a young lady come up to her and speak to her at the church that we attend and say, I seen how my mother and father do it, married full time. I ain't never seen nobody do it the way you do it with a husband that left and you still been solid and you've been faithful to God and you spoke nothing about them. You have been redeemed to have forgiveness for people that done you wrong. The devil don't want you to believe that's the right way. Your friends don't want you to believe that's the right way. Your mind doesn't want you to believe that's the right way because you've been scarred. You've been hurt. You've been made fun of. But I promise you, if you forgive people of the errors of their ways, if you let go and you let God and you move on, the sin that you are about to get into will change you. It will bless you. It will birth a new version of you. But you just have to be willing to be you. No matter what others may think of you. You got to trust you. You got to know that God is calling you to love you and to love the people that treat you less than what you deserve to be treated, man. Redemption is so much deeper than just asking God to forgive you. It says it in his word. Don't come to me at my altar asking me for stuff and saying how much you love me and you got beef for your brother and sister and you couldn't make it right. Redemption is so much greater than the life that we live. Redemption starts with the end to me. Forgiving myself so I can forgive my wife and everybody else. That's where the wealth is truly blessed in our life. I always get a word whenever I listen. Well, I'm grateful. I'm thankful that you get a word because we say a bunch of words and none of them don't make sense when she's saying them. All mine make sense. Don't even worry about that, cousin. You know my words is blessed by the Lord. Okay, don't you worry. This has been brought to you by Mr. P and the good people, Mr. P LLC. She might not be riding with me because I'm taking the glory. Um, I'm just grateful that God is able to use us, for us to be able to forgive, for my wife to be able to forgive me, for me to be able to forgive me, the error of my ways. In order for us to be able to do this and help somebody else right here and right now, we have to ask for God for redemption. We have to ask for God moving forward. You ain't got to believe in God. You ain't got to believe in Buddha. You ain't got to believe in Allah. I don't know what you believe in. You might not tell me or nobody else, but someone, somewhere, everybody believes in something greater than themselves. Even if you believe the possibility of being reincarnated into a tree, a bug, that means to me you believe in something bigger than you. And if you believe in something bigger than you, you have to forgive you as the person that you see you as now. You have to understand that you can grow, you can move forward, you can process and progress to take the stress out of your life to be the best version of your life. Live it. Hey, this has been brought to you by Mr. P and the good people of Mr. P LLC. Hoping this motivation and inspiration was something for your situation to free and relax your mind. As if you are on a vacation. Share this video, comments down below, thumbs up, thumbs down, man. Redemption. Learn how to forgive. Listen to me, black people. I'm mad. I'm not happy. I'm pissed off. And I know it don't look like it on my face, but I'm keeping it PG-13 because I really can't go there. But you got to learn how to forgive. You got to learn how to let go. Do not allow them to live in your head rent for free. You can't live in my head. It's too expensive. You can't keep showing me that white men is murdering black men. You can't show me that black men is continuing to lose their life. I'm a man that served in his military for the United States of America. I know that people lose their life every day, white, black, brown. But you got to learn how to forgive your oppressor or the people that's willing to or attempting to press they feelings and they knowledge upon you. What is God pressing upon you? What is God saying to you? See, if you so busy listening to what man's saying to you and worshiping them as their God, then you need to forgive yourself for the error that you made of believing more in man than you believe in God. If you have faith of a mustard seed, you can move this mountain. So if you have the faith that God can turn this all around with the racism and the criticism and the isms, black versus white, it's another ism out there. You figure, fill in the blank, ism, go. If you have a problem with all those isms, you need to figure out how God is going to change your ism to a wisdom. Willing to do what he calling you to do. Wisdom. Willing to invest single-minded information and relieve the stress into what God is calling me to do. I know I just made it up,
Bars.
but you figure it out, you play with it, break it down. It's not going to keep you on the negative stuff. I'm sick and tired of seeing hands up, don't shoot. I'm sick and tired of seeing I can't breathe. I'm sick and tired of begging and asking for forgiveness. I'm asking God to help me forgive myself of the error of my ways. Look in the man in the mirror, ask me to change my ways, and hope and pray that God blesses me, that I don't put myself in a position to where I'm too stressed or I didn't encounter one of those individuals, white, black, Mexican, Hispanic, who don't care about life. Not black life, not white life, not Hispanic life, Indian life. An individual that doesn't care about life. An individual that doesn't care about life maybe just maybe, have possibly had their life taken away from them. They don't know what it's like to have forgiveness. They don't know what it's like to have love. They don't know what it's like to care because nobody cared for them. Nobody loved them. Nobody showed them the right way. And we so quick to judge and want to beat them down and lock them up and throw it away without ever knowing what was the cause of their pain and their hurt. Because see, I was somebody I was counted out. I could have been George Floyd, or I could have been the cop that was choking out somebody else because I didn't feel like they made the right decision. I'm just saying, we all could have been there, but you have to learn how to forgive, let go, love, and let God. It ain't always easy, but it's always beneficial. It always gives you more life than what you had before. It ain't always easy. Anger, energy, death is beginning and the end. It's been happening forever. It's all about how you process it, how you deal with it. Do not allow anyone to live in your head rent free. Do not allow anyone to tell you what life is meant to be for you when God has already given you the life that you called to, and He told you what He wants you to do. That's it. That's all I got.
Hey, nah.
No, I ain't.
This message is brought to you by Mr. P.I.E.N and the good people of Mr. P.I.E.N LLC. No.
You don't know what it is? You don't know?
It's time to go.
It's up to you. I mean, you know, I can keep going. I can close out 8 times and have at least a 2-minute segment about each time I'm closing out.
Indeed.
Hey, now, mother-in-law. So, yeah, man, we talking about redemption. And you have to learn how to forgive, man. You have to let go and let God. To redeem is the action of saving or being saved from sin, error, or evil. Please, please, please understand. Our parents, our grandparents, our aunts, our uncles, our friends, they haven't redeemed themselves. They haven't forgiven themselves. So how can you forgive anyone else? I still have days sometimes where I struggle about the decisions that I made of walking out on my wife. That affected her life. Walking out on my kids. If you don't redeem yourself, as my church sings the song, I've been redeemed. If you don't forgive yourself of the errors or the mistakes as you was learning your life to move on in life, how can you expect to grow in your life? You keep giving God your hurts, your pains, your worries, your why me, and He's telling you, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Let it go. I threw that stuff in the seas of forgetfulness. I believe in you. I love you. I trust you. Why you just can't believe in you? Forgive yourself. Redeem yourself. Put a blessing upon yourself and call yourself to be great because God has already told you you are great. You are loved. You are a masterpiece. You are loved. You are valuable. You are a masterpiece. She's smiling like you don't just get that wrong and make that right. Oh, yes, I am. Listen to me. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day, man. Please share this video, comments down below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You know how it go. Hopefully this motivation and inspiration was something to redeem your situation. To let go, let God of your errors, your mistakes, and your shortcomings. We all are in a work in progress. And if He's continuing to wake you up and call you, then He has a purpose and a plan for your life and something for you to do. So forgive yourself, let go, love, and move on. This has been Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P, positive and every negative, with my best friend, my right hand with the sexy jeans, Tim Kedia. AKA Kiki, you got something for the people? I just took over the last 17 minutes. You sure you don't got nothing for the
I
people?
don't have nothing for the people. I think you said it all.
I ain't saying all. There's plenty more to say.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I got something else. I don't know what, but I got something. If you want to listen, I got time. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day, man. I thank you to Thelma, Frank, friends, and everyone for tuning in and sharing this video. I know we going through a hard time right now. Let go, let God, love your life, and believe in having a life that you choose to live. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. Motivation and inspiration to free your mind as if you're on vacation. Paradise. Vacation. Lives in the mind. Have a blessed and wonderful day. My wife, let me hurry and click in. He's going to close out on y'all 8 times. Peace. Close your own page while you bother.